Okay, and welcome to this edition of Prairie Phyre. I'm your host, Rachel Crow Spreading Wings. On this episode of Prairie Phyre, we'll be covering two Aboriginal artists. One of those artists we'll be talking about today is Olivia Tailfeathers. She incorporates many Blackfoot words and sayings within her song. How are you doing today, Olivia?
Oh, great. It's a wonderful day and our weather's been strange, but I'm enjoying, loving the sun.
Well, thank you for taking the time to give us an interview. So, you just got back from Toronto. How was your trip over there?
It was very interesting. It was exhilarating, and meeting all the other artists there. I went to the production by the third-year students from the Centre for Indigenous Theatre. And it's a 3-year program that involves arts, and involves acting, singing, and dancing. And so I had a great time there. The director was Muriel Miguel. She's from New York City. She's a strong leader in the arts in New York, and also Troy Twig, who is from the Blood Tribe, and Troy teaches dance there. He's a choreographer.
Nice. So how long have you been singing?
I have to say all my life. I've been singing since a little girl. My father, the late Alan Tailfeathers, was quite influential in my life in the way of singing. He was always taking me to, and living in two worlds. I was singing in the church, and in the summertime I would go out with my grandparents. And in the native world I would go attend our annual Sundance and also hear the songs there and immerse myself in the culture.
In 1999, you were the first receiver of the Keeper of Traditions Award, and they award this person. This award is given to a person who has been outstanding in teaching and nurturing tradition in music. How was that for you?
Okay, when I first graduated from University of Montana in Missoula, I came back home and I started teaching, and I realized that there was something missing in the classroom, and that was a native song.
Right.
And so I picked up the hand drum and I was experimenting with the vibrations of it, and what a wonderful sound that the drum made. And so I started, discovering my voice with the drum and the vibrations and how those all the elements of music come together. And I started songwriting from there, and then it went into Blackfoot songwriting, and so it had to be labeled or given a name, so we call it contemporary, Native American contemporary music with our traditional flavors and our traditional sounds for music.
So as a Blackfoot speaker and as a musician and a contemporary musician in 2012, how are you combining the cultural language, the Blackfoot language, into your music, and how is that being received by your listeners?
Okay, that's a great question, because this is where education and our way of teaching, it's through repetition. So if you're learning language, it's through repetition and sound, so you can hear it. And so the best thing is being able to learn the language through rhythm and singing. And there's a known fact through some information that was given to me by Mari Mumford, the former artistic director of the Banff Centre for the Arts. She had invited different performers to the Banff Centre from all parts of the world. And I understand in New Zealand that they really regained their culture and their language through the performing arts. So they took it on stage, and so they sing their in their language, and they verbally say it in their theater performances. So I think that might be looking forward to something like that to teach the language. But it's a wonderful way of learning words through music.
Right. Thank you. You've been very involved with the community throughout the years, and one of your involvements is with the Sisters in Spirit, which happens every October. It's a memorial for the women who have gone missing all over Canada, but specifically about the highway in, I think it's Highway 100, isn't it, in BC, going north? This year I got to be a part of your performance within that, which I was very honored. Thank you very much for asking me to sing with you. How is that emotionally for you as a female to be singing for these women?
It's a great honor to sing for the women, but on the other side, it's also very sad that here in Canada, and I think also in the United States, that First Nations women, and I also heard this on CBC, there was an interview that I was listening to, and they said, well, that the First Nations women were the lowest on the scale for women from 1 to 10, they always say.
Right.
So it saddened me that, that there's this disrespect for First Nations women, and I don't know where the images came from. I don't know, maybe it was from back in the day of the whiskey traders, and the evolution, how women, we were always the strongest, in North America. And I mentioned that day that we were very, strong women. We were the First Nations women, and we should be first on respect on this game.
Yeah.
Because we do have, we're wonderful people. We have a lot of passion, and we have a lot to offer also.
The other artist that we'll be talking about today is Delia Crosschild. She was recently asked to paint a mural for Lethbridge Community College. Let's go straight there for that interview. So, as a First Nations woman and an alumni of Lethbridge Community College, did you ever think that there would be a mural presented by a First Nations person in this community?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Because I teach at Pioneer High School, and I've seen so many young emerging artists and wonderful, talented people. So I knew that eventually, this would happen.
So you always had hope for that, even growing up as a child in this community?
Yeah, because I knew Native art is alive and well. Always has been.
Right. So this brings a lot of hope to bridging the communities and the cultural gaps, hey?
I think so. I think so. I think when we share the narrative, and we share, because this is Blackwood Space is a narrative, it's a reflection of who we are as Blackwood people. It's a reflection of how we regard the land and those things that were, transferred to us. And so, yeah.
And you mentioned you had many inspirations. Who were your two greatest inspirational artists?
My two greatest inspirational artists. That's a good question. There are many, but I think just I think of Daphne O'Jay. I think of Norval Morriser. I think of Alex Jambier. I think of Bill Reed. I think of a lot of those other artists that, kind of in the 60s were pushing for First Nations art to be accepted as a fine art.
Right on. Well, thank you for your time today.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Two of Bullhorn drummers were asked to sing Delia an honor song while that unveiling happened. Can you introduce yourselves, please, for our audience?
Hello, my name is Troy Delaney. My Indian name is Stucky Mina.
I'm Wayne Wadsworth, and known as Soul.
So you guys were asked to sing an honor song. How was that for you today?
That was really good. I felt really grateful to see Delia show off her painting for the very first time in college, and we're really feeling really well for her and happy for her.
I hope you enjoyed this edition of Prairie Phyre. Please tune in next time for stories of the Peace Powwow and more upcoming events from the First Nations community in southern Alberta. Get a Mutson.